Fujifilm has just recently announced the new Instax Square SQ1 camera, and in this video I'm going to do a full how-to as well as a review of the camera. Whether you've been shooting an Instax camera for a really long time or this is the first camera you are thinking of picking up, this video is going to have everything that you need to know. Hi guys, it's Magali. If it's your first time on my channel, then welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. I make regular videos on beauty, fashion and lifestyle, so if you enjoy this type of content, don't forget to hit the red subscribe button below this video and subscribe to my channel so that you never miss a new video. Today's video is going to be all about the new Fujifilm Square camera that they announced, which is the Square SQ1. Depending on where in the world you are, you should already be able to buy this or you will be able to buy this very soon. I have been shooting with Instax camera and film for pretty much an entire decade now, ever since I bought my first mini camera when I was in college. And when it comes to the SQ1, I did work on a campaign with Fujifilm. That campaign is part of my Instagram. Because of that, I got to have a little bit of early access to this camera and I've been playing with it for about a month now. However, this isn't a sponsored review. I got the camera early. I thought I would take the opportunity to talk about this camera here on the channel. There are currently 3 different formats of Instax film and cameras available. So the first format that they released was called the Instax Mini. It's about the size of a credit card. This is the most popular Instax format, I think, and you will definitely have seen these. Then there's also the Instax Wide format, which is the largest one. This is how one print of wide looks like. And then finally there is the Square formats, and this is the one we're going to be talking about most today. It's bigger than a mini, but it's smaller than the wide. This is how all 3 of the different format prints look next to each other. This is how the 3 formats look piled up one on top of the other, so you can get an idea of the size. If you buy an Instax mini camera, you cannot load Square film in it. If you buy a wide camera, you can't load mini film in it. Each of these 3 formats has got quite a decent range of cameras. Of the 3 different Instax formats out there, Square is the newest of the 3 formats, but the SQ1 is still the 3rd camera from the Square range. The first camera that they released was the SQ10, and now they have a new version of the SQ10 called the SQ20. I am kind of counting that as one camera. That one is sort of a hybrid camera. So while most of these are purely analog old-fashioned cameras, hybrid meaning it has like a digital component also and a film component also. So when you click photos with that, you don't have to print each and every one out, but you can choose which ones to print. And then there was the SQ6, which I have tried and played with in the past. This one is now the SQ1. Even though this is not the first camera to be released under the Square format, this is going to be like kind of the cornerstone of the range. It is the more simple, basic one that I think most people will be reaching for when they want to shoot with Square film. So the SQ1 camera is currently available in 3 different colors. I think all of them are really pretty, and the one I have is called chalk white. If you compare it to even the other Square cameras such as the SQ20, you can see that this has a more boxy shape and kind of more sharper lines. It looks unique. It also has a matte finish, which I personally enjoy very much because I find that most of the other cameras tend to look a little bit glossy like this. Matte finishes can sometimes just be like fiddly and they get like fingerprints and smears on them very easily, but I've not noticed anything like that with this camera, and trust me, I've been really putting it through the ringer and using it almost every day and going out in like the garden, which is super muddy now, and overall it still looks really nice. It does come with a wrist strap in the box, but it has these loops on both sides so that you could put a normal neck strap for it also if you choose to. The camera will come with your first set of batteries, but this runs on 2 CR2 batteries, which are also usually known as photo batteries, and they are quite easy to find in like an electronic shop, or if not, you can definitely order them online. Set of 2 batteries is supposed to last you 30 packs packs of film, and considering each pack shoots 10 photos, the batteries will last for 300 photos, which is quite a long time. I have really been shooting a lot, but I'm nowhere close to 30 packs, so I think that I won't be needing to replace them anytime soon. It's quite easy to install a pack of film, and if you've ever installed like mini film, it'll come to you so easily. But you just open the back door of the camera and then you open a new pack of film, and you can kind of see a yellow line on the film, and trace the same yellow line on the camera. That little yellow line is sort of an easy indicator for you, like in which direction the pack of film should go. So the line on the camera and the line on the pack of film has to just line up. You know, you just slip it in and shut it. And remember that when you install new film in any Instax camera, so this is across mini, wide or square, the first time you shoot, it's not really going to take a photo, but the inside cover kind of comes out. So after I install a new pack, I always just quickly shoot it and discard that, and after that you are going to have 10 photos to shoot. There is this little window at the back of the camera with a counter, which makes it really handy to see how many photos you have remaining in the pack. So as you click more photos, the numbers will count down from 10 to 0. And now we get to taking your first photo. I think this is basically one of the most simplest Instax cameras that I've tried in my entire life, and that's where the beauty of it lies. So you just turn the lens clockwise once and the lens will come out, and that's when the camera also turns on. There's a little indicator light on the front that should turn on so that you know that your batteries are working, because the camera is not going to fire without batteries. In case you want to switch to selfie mode, you just turn the camera another time. There are these indicators on the top of the lens, like right now the lens is in the off position, but if I turn it once it will show on, and then if I turn it another time it will go to selfie mode. There is only one button on the whole camera, which is the shutter button here in the front. It's in the grippy area. It's quite easy to spot, but one warning that I have to give you guys is be careful, because it is sort of easy to press this button by mistake as well. Now when the camera is off, if I press the button, absolutely nothing will happen, but you know, when the camera is on, my finger has sort of slipped onto the button and then I end up taking an unexpected photo. So that's something to be aware of personally. If you're taking a photo, all you have to do is just turn the lens once to turn it on. Use the viewfinder, look through it to help you frame the shot that you want to take, and you know, just press the button, and within a few seconds your instant film will pop out, and it usually takes a couple of minutes to fully develop, which I think is just a magical experience to just stare at the picture, because it's initially fully white and then you'll see your image developing from it. That is definitely one of my favorite parts of the whole experience. And then if you want to take a selfie, all you have to do is turn the lens again to turn it to selfie mode. Hold the camera in your hand and you can use the mirror in the front of the camera to help you frame your shot. It's really quite sharp and I can see myself clearly even when I'm not wearing my glasses. Frame it at the angle that you would like and take the photo. I find the mirror particularly useful when you're taking like group selfies with more than one person, because you don't really want to cut anyone off. So the selfie mode of this camera also sort of doubles up as something similar to a macro mode that you would use when you're shooting things that are closer to the camera. Basically, this has a minimum focusing distance of 0.3 meters or 30 centimeters, which means you can't really take a photo of anything too up close because it's not going to be sharp or in focus. But as long as it's about 30 centimeters away, it'll be absolutely fine. And selfie mode works at lengths between 0.3 meters to 0.5 meters. So that is kind of roughly an arm's length, and that is how I calculate it as well. So if I'm taking photos of like a pretty bush or something that's pretty close to me, as long as I can touch it with my arm, I will take the photo on selfie mode. And if I'm taking photos of anything that's further than that, like if I'm taking the landscape or skyline or anything like that, then I'll just use the normal mode. That's just basically all you need to know about taking photos. There isn't any more complication, and I think that's really nice if you don't like fiddling with a lot of different modes. If you have this at a party, then you know, it's just like you can pick it up and shoot. So even if you're someone who's more of a photography pro and you use cameras that have a lot of different manual functions all the time, using a digital camera with a lot of different manual things, you're worrying about every single parameter, like whether the ISO is right, whether you framed everything correctly, shutter speed, aperture, and this type of camera, you just pick it up and just shoot. I find it very, very freeing. You really don't have to think about all of those things. You're just in the moment and you know, you pick it up, point and shoot, and you get like a cute little memory, you know. So I'm just gonna take a selfie of myself right here and I can show it to you guys. Did I just take a photo while I was talking? Oops. But I can show this to you guys as it's developing in real time. Oh, and by the way, this is one of the newer films that Fuji is releasing along with the camera. So before, they only had the regular square film which has white borders, but now they're releasing this rainbow film. The picture isn't any different, but you kind of get these different rainbow frames around it, and you know, you can't really tell what color frame you're gonna get before you click the photo, so that kind of adds to the spontaneity of it, I think. Then they're also releasing a monochrome film with this. They already had monochrome film available for the mini, but they didn't really have monochrome available for the square. Monochrome just basically means black and white, and it does cost a little bit more than the regular Instax color film, but I think that it's something a little bit different, and black and white has a more artistic vibe, so that is something I definitely do want to check out in the future. So the selfie I just took is almost developed, and yes, I did end up taking a picture of myself mid-sentence. So even if it isn't the most flattering picture, I think it's very indicative of me as a person, because I'm always talking too much. The flash of this camera will pretty much always fire whether you are shooting indoors or outdoors, but it does have like a light meter, so it is kind of adjusting everything so that your photo always looks good and you shouldn't really have like washed out faces or anything. The only two little cons or things that I personally found missing with this camera were that I would have liked if there was a self timer, and then I would have also liked if there was a tripod thread. That was one of the first things that I noticed. This does not have that little thread underneath, so you cannot mount it on a tripod. I tend to put cameras on tripods a lot, and if this had that function, I would have enjoyed it. And a self timer button usually means that the photo will fire after 2 seconds or 5 seconds or 10 seconds, and then you can leave it somewhere and run into frame. I think it's a fun function and I would have liked to have it. The SQ6 camera from this range does have that function, but this one doesn't, because they have kept it really, really simple. I've gone over pretty much everything there is to say about the Instax Square SQ1 camera, and now it's time to sort of wrap things up and let you know what I think of it and whether I would recommend it. I am a long-time fan of the Instax range on the whole. I love how fun and spontaneous it is, and I love the little prints that come out. I love how quickly they develop, and I like how they always look good, and the color reproductions are just beautiful. They are vibrant and they stay that way for a really long time. As someone who shot on the mini format for a really long time, I love upgrading to the square format now, and I'm wondering why I didn't do it earlier, because the square format just looks more like pretty and aesthetically pleasing, and it's of course larger, so you can put more in each shot. Ever since I got the new camera, I've been using it to document pretty much everything, as is evident by this stack of photos that I have here, right from my new houseplant, which I just got, and hopefully it will thrive and survive for many years to come. But in case it goes the way of all of the other houseplants that I've had before, at least I will have this little memory of it on square film. Even though I've not been going out much, I've also really been enjoying dressing up a little bit, taking a little walk in the garden downstairs, and getting cute outfit pics or OOTDs on Instax film instead of my camera or my phone. If you like scrapbooking or journaling, or you just like having your happy memories around you, I think these prints also make beautiful displays, and if you have them, the possibilities are just endless. So yes, if you're into any of these things that I just said, and if you like having pretty photos of your life, I would absolutely recommend this camera. camera. It is very beautiful, it is very simple, it works well, and you don't have to think too much about getting the perfect photo. You just pick it up, turn it on and shoot. However, if you are someone who likes having a few different modes and functions on your Instax camera, like you want prints that are similar to this but you want to be able to control the outcome more, I would recommend looking at the SQ6 camera, which they already have out, because that has more functions like a macro mode and a landscape mode and a few different buttons. So if you're like more of a photographer who likes putting more effort, look at the SQ6 for square photos with more control. But if you're someone who just wants to pick up a camera and shoot and get good photos all of the time without like controlling every single aspect of it, this SQ1 is definitely for you. If you were curious about the new camera, I really hope this video has cleared up some doubts for you. And if there's anything that I missed, or if you have any further questions, feel free to leave a comment below and I will get back to you. If you would like to know more about this camera and you would like to purchase it, or you would also like to purchase film, the links are in the description bar below. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and I will see you all next time. Bye.